Well, as I long predicted, they're a farce. They're a farce because anyone who believes that Bashar al-Assad is going to willingly transition out of power is obviously, it's just crazy. It's a exercise in foolishness, and one of the worst aspects of this is that Bashar al-Assad can now say, well, I went to a peace conference, but he is not going to agree to transition out of power. That's obvious, and that's what the original intention of Geneva was. Now it's gone from this thing about Iran being in or out from farce to low comedy.
So where do we go with it now then? What's the solution? Do you still talk about intervention?
We need to assist the Free Syrian Army. They are having to fight the radical ISIS as well as Bashar al-Assad, but they are still a very viable force, and the reason why they haven't been more viable is because we haven't given them the assistance that they need, the arms and weapons they need. And I say thank God for the Saudis, because they are the ones, and some other Gulf states, that are being of some assistance.
What about direct foreign intervention? Is that something you'd support?
I don't think you can do that, but I think what you can do is establish a humanitarian zone where it is protected by, say, Patriot missiles, where the resistance can be fed, be trained, and receive assistance that they need. Look, 11,000 citizens have been chronicled of their torture and death. And if you go to a refugee camp, as I have, defectors from Bashar's army will tell you they are told to rape and torture. I mean, it should have surprised no one that this documentation came out. Meanwhile, we sit by and watch it happen. When the President of the United States reversed his position on Syria, we lost enormous credibility throughout the region and the world.
What about Iran? President Rouhani himself was here in Davos. Fine words he had for the international community, clearly a hand of friendship. Do you buy it?
Well, I was fascinated that in an interview on Sunday, President Rouhani said that there would not be a single centrifuge that would be shut down. That's not what we had in mind when we began these negotiations. And the right to enrich is not needed if all they want is this nuclear power and peaceful purposes. So if they insist on the right to enrich, then I think it's a phony deal to do business.
Do you trust him, Mr. Rouhani?
I don't trust him. He bragged about how he had deceived the negotiators in the past when he was a negotiator. I don't trust him, but I'm willing to give this period of 6 months of negotiations a chance.
Would the world be a better place with an Iran that was welcomed properly into the international community, into the international economy?
Sure, but you got to remember that it isn't just nuclear weapons. They are spreading terror throughout the Middle East. In Yemen, recently, there was another problem. They have plot to kill the Saudi ambassador in Washington. They have orchestrated other attacks, such as the USS Cole. They are slaughtering Syrians with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So the problem with this administration is we look at it through a telescope, when the fact is that there is all kinds of Iranian behavior which is very harmful to the entire region.